number game, right? So we're going to assume that it's $3.99 a pound. Well, since we're doing trout, we have to get things down to ounces, don't we? Okay, so we got to figure out our price per ounce. Now, here's my theory when it comes to money. I always round up, and I could care less what the decimal point is. If it's .271, that becomes 0.28. I don't round up that high. 0.28, because in that situation, we are not going to eat the cost of anything, are we? Not even a tenth of a penny. What we eat, we always pass cost on to the guest. Okay? So we'll figure out our price, and then you'll weigh your fish, multiply the price per ounce times the number of ounces, and that gives us our starting weight for our fish. And you can see that step number 2 is fabricate under chef's directions, right? So as soon as I go through the first stage of our cutting, you will first break away, weigh, do your top, and you'll do stage 1. Then you'll come back and I'll show you stage 2, and then we'll finish, and then we'll finish our numbers. Okay, so once you do the top, just slide it underneath, and then we'll focus on cutting. Okay, so let's cut. Well, let's talk a little bit about what are some quality standards for fish in general that we should be watching for walking in the back door.
Their eyes should be clear.
Okay, so a clear eye, which should hopefully look like me and your eyes, okay? But here's the thing with that. Fish get packed on ice. And if that eyeball was sitting on ice, ice will cause the eye to go cloudy, okay? So sometimes that cloudy eye is not necessarily a problem. Because if it looks like glaucoma, that's usually a sign of age. Okay, but that could be deceptive. What else? Smell?
No fishy smell.
Should not smell like anything. And between me and you, salmon should smell like watermelon. A perfectly fresh salmon, you put your nose in the belly, it smells like watermelon. And there ain't a fishmonger in America wants you to know that. Okay? Because that needs to be the freshest of the fresh. So when you go down to Pike down there, tell me you want to sniff some watermelon smelling bellies. Because it is the coolest thing ever. No one believes me until they go, whoa, it smells like watermelon. So smell of watermelon is the biggest one, especially for salmon. Okay, but no fishy smell. What about sliminess? Should they be slimy?
No.
Darn right they should be slimy. Okay, so slime on a fish is a temperature regulation tool. When a fish comes out of the water, it's always first very slimy. You can't even hold on to that thing. You know what I mean? Well, that slime is there so they can swim in very cold water. Okay, so when a fish first comes out, sliminess on the fish is not a bad thing at all. It's usually a sign of freshness, so don't get confused on that one. There's a difference between that first slime when they come out of the water, that slipperiness, versus old slimy fish. You know what I mean? If your fish is old slimy, trust me, you're going to smell it when it first pops out to begin with. So what else might we look for on a whole fish? Firmness. When we touch it, it shouldn't have big divots that remain, right? And that could be different depending on the fish. Fish from colder waters is going to have firmer meat than warmer waters. Okay, so
No tears or rips.
obviously we don't want where they've been harvested, because a lot of times they'll use hooks to grab the fish, and you'll see these big hook marks at the side, especially salmon. We'll see this a lot during peak of season. We'll see that a lot. The final thing is blood. Okay, where do we check blood on a fish? Gills, right? Gills inside of a salmon should be bright red. Blood like our blood when you first cut yourself. Because we know that as blood oxidizes over time, what happens? It starts to go dark. Okay, so if we got really dark looking gills or even blood anywhere that's really dark looking, chances are that fish has been out of the water for a while. Okay, now on a trout, like here, there's no gills, is there? So what I'm always doing is I'll be opening up the belly and I'll be searching for just any areas of blood that might pop up to give me a little indication on my colors, okay? Now because we brought them in on Tuesday, had to freeze these for a couple days, so you're going to probably see discoloration on your blood because of the fact that they went inside that freezer, okay? So these are all things when they're walking in the back door, because especially fish walking in the back door, you have to check that in. I mean, there has to be somebody physically look at it with the driver, go through, weigh the product, So Mr. Peduzzi was my butcher instructor at CIA. Mr. Peduzzi was like 40 years New York butcher. And he had what was called the Golden Hook. And he had a list of restaurants. The restaurants that weighed their product when they walked in the door, and the restaurants that didn't. And if you were on the don't weigh your product list, every time the Golden Hook got placed on the scale to figure out how much you owed him. Put 3 daughters through Harvard with the Golden Hook. Do not assume for 1 second that any purveyor is watching your back. If you're not checking product in and keeping those people honest, they're going to mess with you. They're going to steal nickels from you because they know over time nickels become dimes, dimes become quarters, and they become rich people. So be very, very aware of protecting your investment.
How quickly does that blood oxidize and get dark? I feel like for people it's pretty quick. So, I mean, I guess how quickly should we be getting our fish from the time it's out of the water to us?
The moment it's out of the water is ideal. You know, that's another thing you say to your fishmonger. I mean, it's like, I need the freshest. When it's walking in your back door, it should not even touch your fridge. It should be getting in the truck and hopefully coming to me. And again, there's the relationship. Because over time, you know, in the beginning you might not get perfection, but the more you talk to them and you're cool to them and you build this friendliness, they're going to automatically start doing those things for you. But in the beginning, if you don't explain to them that you completely understand the quality of the product, then they're going to assume you don't. Okay, so Las Vegas. I showed up in Las Vegas buffets, no fish, right? I mean, every time the fish came in, it was horrendous.